The Friday night game saw leaders Castres travel to champions and second-place club Perpignan. Castres set about nullifying Perpignan from the off with fly-half Romain Thoulé knocking over penalties at will. Castres' coaching team say we'll know more about their true worth after their current run of games, which sees them take on Perpignan, Clermont, Toulouse and Biarritz in successive games. Their stock was high in the first half at the Stade Aimé Giral as Thoulé punished home mistakes. (12-0), the Castres lead at one stage. That before Jerome Porrical pulled 3 points back for Perpignan from range on the stroke of half-time. Perpignan could have closed still further before the interval. Maxime Mermoz hacked ahead and chased. Mathieu Bourré's kick was charged down by Mermoz, and Thoulé had to save the day. 7 minutes into the second half, a good old catch and drive. Controlling the ball at the back, Perpignan hooker Marius Tinku. With referee Rosic telling the Castres players not to commit an offence, well, they committed an offence. The result, a penalty try. Visiting hooker Mathieu Bonello throwing his body into the fray illegally, bringing down the maul. Thoulé ignored the whistles of the home crowd to extend the Castres lead. Up to 5 there. The Perpignan try was converted. Guillaume Guirado was on at hooker for Tinku as Perpignan again made Castres suffer at the line-out. This time, the defence simply crumbled. And Guirado burst over the despairing challenge of Marc Andreu. A 100-kilo-plus French international hooker against the 78-kilo France Sevens player. Well, there was only going to be one winner there. 17 points to 15, and after being booed off at half-time, the home players had the crowd back on their side. In the last minute, Castres went for the drop goal that would win the game. Romain Thoulé with the kick, but it was wide and short. The last kick of the game. Jacques Brunel's side far from at their best, but it was enough for Perpignan. Stade Francais travelled to Clermont sitting outside the top 6 and knowing they had travelled to the Stade Marcel Michelin 7 times since 1997 and lost all 7 by an average scoreline of 28-13. Aurélien Rougerí's Clermont, meanwhile, were targeting a win which would take them top of the table and make up for losing at Montpellier last week. Noel Olschick started as scrum half for Stade. He was goal kicker too, with Julien Dupuis on the bench. The South African scored the first points of the match. Clermont dominated both possession and territory in the first half, but for a long while the Stade Francais defence stood firm. At times, Clermont were a bit too quick to spin the ball wide. Benoit Babi ran out of space on the right wing here. Benoit Cabello with the pass to Babi, put into touch by Stade's Scottish international fullback Hugo Southwell. Brock James, the most accurate kicker in the top 14, levelled it at 3-3, his success rate well over 80% this season. And then Stade gifted Clermont a try. Benjamin Kaiser missed Tom Palmer, and Julien Bonner said thank you very much. Palmer got fingertips to the ball, but all Bonner had to do was run over Olschig. James added the conversion, and it was 10-3, Stade undoing so much of their earlier work. 3 minutes before the break, Morgan Parra found Aurélien Rougerie running a great line. The captain kicked ahead for himself, only to be taken out by Southwell, who prevented any likelihood of a try at the expense of a penalty and a yellow card. The Scot could have no complaints. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he was to be punished by Brock James. It looked nasty. Aurélien Rougerie was fit to carry on though. James making the half-time score 13-3 to the hosts. Olschig reduced the arrears in the second half with a brace of penalties, as Stade attempted to get something out of the game despite having rested several first-teamers and being without Lionel Beauxis. Out with a broken hand, he's likely to miss 6 weeks. 13-9 after that kick. Bonner, left out of the France squad for the November internationals, picked up at the base. His pass to Babi was judged forward. It put an end to a thrilling move, even if both sides carried on until that second whistle. It was forward. Just that angle not the best to see it, although nothing could detract from this wonderful bit of skill from Parra. With 9 minutes to go, James struck again. 16 points to 9, and surely the best Stade could hope for now, a defensive bonus point. They had other ideas though. 2 minutes later, Olschig cut the deficit to 4 points. And then, with Dupuis on as a replacement and Olschig switching to fly half, Stade conjured up a score. Southwell's pass to Ollie Phillips left the Englishman a lot to do. He shrugged off both Babi and Anthony Flosch to touch down in the corner. Stade in front. England Sevens player Phillips, a recent arrival from Newcastle, dancing to stay on the right side of the line. Olschig, a South African, to Gasnier, an Australian. To Southwell, a Scot, and finished off by an Englishman. Such is the multinational world of the top 14. After tasting a first defeat against Perpignan at the Stade de France last week, Stade coach Jacques Delmas could sense a famous upset. Yet the drama wasn't over. Visiting captain Pierre Rabadan penalised for not rolling away after making a tackle. A quick chat between James and Rougerie, and then common sense prevailed. The Australian fly half was left with a simple shot from in front of the posts to secure a 19 points all draw. No danger of him missing this. Delmas might yet consider this a good result, but not now. While Mathieu Bastereau proved he's as popular as ever with the kids after his rugby community service this week. Punishment after he lied about late-night goings-on France's tour of New Zealand this summer.